The following is an encore presentation of stories from the Dooralong Transformation Centre. Talking to Amy from the Dooralong Transformation Centre. Morning to you, Amy.
Good morning.
Nice cold morning at Dooralong, I'm guessing. You have any frost there this morning?
Freezing.
Freezing. Hot in summer, cold in winter.
Perfect.
How do you cope with the cold weather?
Don't.
You don't? You're a hot weather person,
yes,
aren't you?
Yep.
Yeah. But it's a good place to be anyway.
It is. It's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, and you're quite snug in those little cabins.
Yes. Yeah, the cabins are beautiful. We've got heating in there.
Yeah. So you're good. You're good. Now, Amy, I said before the news, I told our listeners that you have a really interesting story. And I think it's probably different to a lot that we've heard because you were brought up in the church. You were a member of Hillsong. Tell us a little bit about your church, your Hillsong.
I was raised in the Hillsong Church. I went to a Christian school from all the way through, up through high school as well. And I went right through youth group at Hillsong as well.
So, a committed Christian from a very early age.
Yes.
From a very early age.
Yes.
Yeah. And you were telling me earlier that you met somebody at youth group.
Yeah, I met my husband at youth group that I was married to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So somebody looking in at your life at this stage would be thinking, Amy's living a blessed life. She's got a church. She's comfortable with her religion. She's got a husband through church. All looks good.
I had it all.
You had it all.
Yeah.
Didn't last, did it?
No.
What happened?
I was married for 15 years and
still going to church during all this time? Yeah.
Started to fall away from church. Had two beautiful girls, Georgia and Paris. And we had a mortgage and I had a hairdressing salon that I bought at 22, got married at 22. Then we went on to we invested in another business which was a business that was open a lot of hours and my husband was struggling and our marriage fell apart after that and he ended up having an affair and it was really hard, he denied it and said that it wasn't true and it really made me feel like I was going crazy. I had to know what was going on and
and how old were the kids at this stage?
Georgia, my eldest, was in high school, but Paris was only younger.
Yeah.
She was still in primary school at the time.
So did you split up?
Yeah, we did. It was slowly. It didn't just happen overnight. It happened over a period of time. I tried so hard to save that marriage. I did everything. I really believed I met him in God's house, and it was.
You made your vows for till death do us part.
That's right. And I was raised. I've been raised in a Christian family and believe that marriage is forever. And unfortunately, sometimes we don't have control over people. We don't have that control over everyone. We really only have control over ourselves.
Some non-Christians think that once you become a Christian, that's it. Life's going to be a bed of roses for you.
That's right.
There's no bed of roses for you at this stage in your life.
No, not at all.
Yeah. So you're left alone. Your husband leaves you. You've got one kid at school and one youngster as well. Presumably the mortgage still has to be paid?
Yeah, I had the mortgage and the two girls on my own.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a salon, the hair salon still by myself, and I was paying the mortgage by myself, and things were pretty hard.
Yeah. So how bad did things get for you?
Pretty bad. Yeah, pretty bad. At one point there, we actually had to rent the house out and go and live with my parents to survive. My mum and dad, they're fantastic. They really looked after us and took care of us and helped us while we were able to get back on top of the mortgage again.
Yeah. Were you angry at God?
I was, very.
Yeah, I think
very.
I would be as well.
Very.
I mean, you've been a faithful servant, churchgoer, a believer. Met your husband at church, like all these programs we have on the radio say it's a good place to meet your spouse. And then this happens.
Yep.
Yeah. So when did the addiction come into your life?
I had a friend that, I'm one of those people that I like everything to be organised and I like to start my week being organised and I had a friend who introduced that I worked with, and she introduced me into ice, and you know, we would clean the house, and I was able to get on top of everything. It started off as a weekend thing, and then you know, the next weekend I was sort of like, oh, have you got any more? And then it became, oh, have you got any? Because I'll need some for Monday morning. So it just became more of a regular thing, and then slowly but surely everything just fell away from there.
Yeah. So you started taking it because it made you feel good?
It did.
At a time in your life when everything else was bad?
Yep. It numbed the pain and made me feel empowered. It made me feel like Superwoman, really.
And you started on a pretty hard one, didn't you? You didn't start with cannabis or some of what people call soft drugs. You started with ice.
Yes, yep.
Which we are told is very, very addictive.
Yeah, I didn't start till a later period in my life either. It was really interesting, you know.
So how old were you when this
I was about 35, and I'm 38 now.
Yeah.
So it was a, you know, very, very short period, but so much happened in that short period.
Yeah. And you were addicted within a month, within a week?
Oh, straight away.
Straight away.
Straight away. Yep.
And that addiction is such that, does that now take priority in your life? The drugs?
It did at the time, definitely. It took priority over everything.
Yeah. Even the kids?
Definitely. Yeah. Unfortunately, you know, the girls, they didn't deserve it. You know, Georgia and Paris, they are beautiful girls. They did not deserve it at all, and unfortunately, I wish I could take it back and change it, but what's done is done, and I believe that God has a purpose in my life. I really believe that everything happens for a reason.
Absolutely.
And I think too, for them to see what I've done and what I've been through is just going to make them stronger too. You know, it's going to make them stronger and say that that's not what they want for their life, and that they can become better, and you know, we can work through it together.
Yeah.
And have a more of an understanding, whereas I think that it's a real eye opener. You know, I don't think it's a great thing for them to, you know, but I think it's not gonna be a bad thing in their life.
It's been an important life lesson.
That's right, exactly.
Yeah. So we know you ended up at Dooralong. You were in addiction there. You were in your sort of early 30s, and you say this was only 3 years ago. So how did things get so bad so quick? What happened to you?
I ended up with AVOs on me. I breached them 8 times, and then I ended up in custody. And then I became part of the drug court program to get out of custody and to be able to, and they select a program for you. And I was fortunately I was selected to Dooralong. I remember going in when I was in custody. I was praying for a miracle, and it was very hard to get into Dooralong. All the girls wanted to go to Dooralong that were in there as well, and this week, it took a week and a half, and I got a phone call from Barry, which is the man that works at Dooralong, to do a phone assessment on me, and he said, you know, you've been accepted to Dooralong, and they pick you up from the court on the Monday, and then that's part of the program.
You were telling me earlier that as soon as you got into your cell when you were in jail, you cried out to God.
I did. I said, Lord, I need a miracle.
Yeah.
I need a miracle.
So you were in tears? I
was. It was awful.
Yeah.
It's a really, really scary place, and how I ever thought, and like I said, being raised in a Christian home and in a Christian church and a Christian school, you know, it's something that I never ever thought would happen to in my life. But I don't believe that God gives you more than what you can handle. I really don't. I didn't think I could handle it, but He was always there, and I believe I'll be able to help other people to be able to not go through the same things that I've been through.
And you knew enough as a Christian to get on your knees and cry out, God, I need a miracle.
Oh, you do. When you're in there, you do. When you're in custody, you've got, you know, you'll do anything. You're
a bit like, not the prodigal son, but the prodigal daughter. You've come back and asked, God, please help me. I've stuffed it up.
I have, yep.
Yeah. And we're back talking to Amy. We talked quite a lot about Amy's earlier life, that Christian upbringing she had, but how things really took a downward turn when her marriage ran into relationship problems, and she was introduced to ICE, and within a very short period of time you found yourself in jail.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're talking just, because all this has happened in the last 3 years, hasn't it?
It has.
Yeah. Anyway, in jail, you cry out to God in tears to give you a miracle, and lo and behold, He's faithful to His word. He gives you a miracle. He takes you to Dooralong.
Definitely.
Yeah. So you had never been to Dooralong before?
No,
but
never.
you'd heard of it?
I had. All the girls talked about Dooralong.
Yeah.
As being such a beautiful place, and definitely one of the best rehabs that you can get into, and how nobody could get into it.
Yeah, but you were there within how many days?
A week and a half.
A week and a half.
Yep.
No 3-month waiting list for you.
No. Some of the girls had to wait, up to 6 weeks to be able to get into a place. But
when God does a miracle, He moves quite quickly. So you found your way to Dooralong. Was it everything you expected, or were the things different than you expected?
It was definitely different than what I expected, but it was so beautiful. It took my breath away.
In what way was it different? What was how did you imagine it, and what was the reality?
Oh, nothing like it was going to be. I just expected it to be one place where everybody went and slept, and whereas
so one building.
Yeah, that's right. Whereas as we've got, I think it's 320 acres or something crazy like that of property with cabins, and I walk out each morning and there's 5 beautiful little ducks out the front of my house, chirping away, and we have a peacock that walks around, and things disbelief.
So when you say it was different than you imagined, different but in a good way?
Oh, in a beautiful way.
Yeah. And the programs, how are you finding with the
programs? The programs are great. It's a really, really good program. I've learnt so much. I feel like I've definitely become a better person for it, more understanding. There's so many different people out there that come from so many different places, and to hear different stories and see that you're not the only one.
Yeah, and to see what other people, to see their struggles, and it's really quite therapeutic, and it also sort of, you can learn so much from the other participants as well as the staff, I think, can't you?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and you all support each other. There's a real community feel.
Definitely. Having the staff come from the same place that we've come from makes a huge difference, and, I'm hoping that one day I'll be able to do something similar.
Yeah. And you've been there now, how long was it,
5 months?
5 months, yeah. And what's the biggest change in you, do you think, in those 5 months?
Gratitude. Definitely.
Yeah. Tell me more about that, gratitude.
Definitely more grateful for what I have in my life. I took a lot of things that I had for granted, and to realise how blessed and how lucky I am to have such a supportive family, and 2 beautiful girls that have supported me and stuck by me the whole way through. To have that still, and see so many people that don't have that, people that don't have family that come and see them. My mum and dad, they come to chapel every single Wednesday night to see me in chapel, and a lot of people don't have that, and I have gratitude for that.
Yeah, that surprises me a little, but in a good way, because given all that's happened to you in your life, and the bad times that you've endured, you are still grateful for what God has given you in your life.
Yeah, definitely.
Doesn't sound as if there's any resentment or bitterness there.
No, not towards that. Definitely, maybe towards my ex-husband.
Yeah.
But I'm dealing with that, and they're helping me to deal with that as well.
Yeah. Now look, we know you're a Christian. You are a Hillsong person, so chapel nights at Dooralong weren't totally sort of weird to you in the way that they are to those sort of guys there that have never been to church before. How different is the style of worship at Dooralong to and which church do you go to on a Sunday?
Tuggerah Lakes.
Yeah. How different is the style of worship with the Salvos than to the Hillsong that you're more used to?
At chapel, it's definitely a little bit like Hillsong. It's a bit like going to youth, because everyone sort of gets into it. But the Salvation Army Church it's a bit different. But I love the speaker at Tuggerah Lakes Chapel. He's fantastic. I always get a great message.
You've got a good minister there.
Love it. Yeah.
Let's give him some credit. What's his name? It's gone. You've forgotten. Your tongue. He'll come back. Don't worry. But Tuggerah Lakes is your church now? Do you
yes, it is. It is my church. Yes.
And how different is it? Here's somebody who used to go to a mega church, Hillsong. Now you're going to a church well, by comparison, is it's really quite small. How does that fit with you? Which do you prefer? What are the pluses and minuses of each, do you think?
I think all of them have pluses and minuses. I've definitely been through a lot of other churches as well growing up. I went to a Baptist school, so we had to attend church every week. So I'm definitely a bit of a chameleon when it comes to things like that. You know, I think my parents started off in an Anglican church when I was a lot younger, and we moved up to Newcastle. So it's not always just been Hillsong, so I'm very adaptable when it comes to things like that.
Yeah, so it's not just one.
I just look for a great word, you know, a really good message.
Yeah, you're not worried about the label of the denomination.
Not at all, not at all.
I know Rick, who's our station manager here, he likens the denominations to ice cream. You know, we're all Christians, and it's all, you know, it's all ice cream. Some ice cream is strawberry flavoured, some is chocolate chip, some is vanilla, you know, some is uniting, some is Anglican, some is Baptist, but it's still Christianity, it's still ice cream.
That's right.
Yeah.
We all worship the same God.
You all worshipping the same God. And the future, Amy, what's going to happen for you in the future?
I'm doing a drug and alcohol diploma. I'm currently online at the moment.
Yeah.
I've just begun that. I'd definitely like to do something in social working and to be able to give back to somebody for the same thing as what I've been through.
Yeah. So you would like to you could almost be poacher turned gamekeeper? You could start helping people who have been through the addiction that you have been.
That's what I believe. I'm feeling like that. I believe God's opening doors for me at the moment.
Yeah.
And we'll just see where my journey goes.
And we're back talking to Amy from the Dooralong Transformation Centre. Amy's been at Dooralong now for 5 months. She does come from a Christian background, but I imagine that this journey you've had over the last 3 years, Amy, I know you're in a good place now, and I know you've come back to God, and we were talking about you being a bit like the prodigal daughter, but what's this 3-year journey of drug addiction and breakup of a marriage, what's that been like, as far as what's it done to you as to your spiritual nature? Did you doubt God? You said earlier you were angry with him to begin with. Did you ever think that he'd abandoned you? Well,
yep.
How has it affected you as a Christian to have one of these terrible things happen in your life?
Definitely, I definitely felt like I'd been abandoned, and I couldn't understand why, why me, I always questioned that. And
what have I done?
What have I done that's so wrong, but I really believed that there was a purpose behind what what he was doing in my life.
Yeah.
Do you know, whether I was unhappy in that marriage or not, I would have stayed, and I really believe that everything happens for a reason, and the doors are just opening for me.
So this has been a journey. Did you sense God with you at all times during this journey, or did you perhaps sense times when he wasn't there?
Once I'd gone into custody is definitely when I reached back out, when I got down on my hands and knees and just cried.
Yeah. That
was when I was desperate. I was desperate, and I asked for forgiveness and realised that I had done things. Not that he'd turned his back on me, but probably that I had also turned my back on him.
Yeah. Many people would sort of think that going to jail, if that happened in their life, that was really a terrible, terrible thing. But the way you describe it, it was almost like it being a good thing for you.
I believe that if I didn't, I would still be out there doing exactly what I was doing before. And it definitely changed my life and made me realise. And it makes you realise how grateful for what you do have in your life, and for the small little things as far as food goes and your clothes and stuff like that, for what you can wear, how you have a choice each day to wake up,
Yeah.
It takes away everything from you, and that's where I definitely believe that my gratitude came from.
Yeah. And on a brighter note, how are Georgia and Paris now, your 2 kids?
Yeah, no, they're great. They're really, really good. Georgia's Georgia's working in childcare, and Paris, yeah, she's beautiful. She's
the younger one?
Yeah, she's my younger one, and yeah, she's on school holidays at the moment. So I'm about to spend a couple of days with her as well. So they're letting me go home to spend some time with her with the school holidays. So. Yeah.
And is this the first time you've had sort of overnight leave from Dooralong, or have you had that before?
I do get every second weekend overnight leave, and I get a day leave on the Saturday.
Yeah.
But they're giving me a special leave to go and spend some time with her, so I'm so
School
excited.
Holidays.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't wait.
And how would you describe your relationship with them now? Did it suffer, and is it now improving, or how's that been over the last couple of years?
Definitely suffered a lot. You know, I've got a lot to make up to my girls, but they're very understanding, and we talk about everything. That's one thing that we do, is we talk about everything. We're honest about everything, and there's nothing that I haven't told them that they don't know, and I want to continue that so that we can have that close bond. I want to raise my girls to be independent and you know, don't feel like they need to rely on anybody else or anything like that, and not make the same mistakes I did.
Except God. They can rely on Him.
That's right.
Always, 100%. Yeah. Look, it's been an absolute delight to talk to you this morning, Amy. And I think you are a reminder that, you know, bad things can happen to Christians as well.
Yeah.
We, as we said before, we are not immune. Bad things happen. We've only got to look at the book of Job in the Bible, where he sits on that ash heap for month after month, crying out to God in his misery, "Why me, God? What have I done to deserve this?" And that sounded a bit like you. So we do have troubles. We have strife. We have bad things happen to us. Really bad things at times, like happened to Amy. But God didn't abandon you.
Not at all.
And when you cried out to Him, "God, I need a miracle," He was only too happy to say, "Right, this is what I'm going to do for you."
Amen.
Took you to Dooralong.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, give all our best regards to everybody back at Dooralong. You'll be bopping away at chapel night tonight, will you?
Yes, definitely.
Waving your arms around.
My mum and dad and Paris are coming tonight to chapel as well. So yeah,
right.
I'm really excited.
So it's going to be good.
It will.
And it'll be a nice roast meal on a cold winter's night.
It will.
It'll be good. It'll be good. Okay, thank you so much, Amy. Give our regards to everybody back at Dooralong, including Major Gavin, who is he's the boss man there, isn't he?
He is. He's great.
Everyone tells us how great he is, and all the staff. They really do make a difference. I hope they know that. But talking to these people from Dooralong, we know they make a difference. You've been listening to an encore presentation of the Dooralong stories, which can be heard live every Wednesday at 10 a.m. and repeated 8 p.m. Sunday and 1 a.m. Wednesday, right here on 94.9 rema.cc.